Hello, happy Wednesday everybody. We're back again, you lucky people. So welcome to yet another edition of The Cave, or the Haze Hour Warm-Up Act, or whatever you want to call it. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag tonight. I'll be looking at a couple of bits and bobs. Maybe a new wicking technique. It's new to me, but I'll cover that when I get there. Bit of vaping type news. Yeah, mixed bag really. And probably a little bit of a chat with chat as well. So all that after the titles when I click on them, because I never get them ready in time. There we go. See you in a sec.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of Vaporshark.tv.
Right, Neil Robson. If you go and chat on the YouTube page, you'll be very, very naughty indeed. I saw that. I saw you typing that in. So here we are again then. Let's get comfy, shall we? Right, no guests this week. I think we wore Ridian and Simon out last week. Speaking of which, now I was on Sunday evening all prepared to do a nice little rant about the anniversary vape meet on Sunday just gone. But to be fair, I think Davey and Andy on Monday summed up pretty much what I think to a T. Yes, I was disappointed with the turnout. I was hoping for more people to be there. And truth be told, I did actually send a few people in the Cardiff and surrounding areas messages personally to actually say, are you coming on Sunday? And they come back and said yes. Not one of them turned up. In fact, to my knowledge, I don't recall any vapors from Cardiff being there. Maybe the exception of Rob and B. I don't know where they're from. But, yeah. So I was quite disappointed. However, I had a fun day. Because I got to stand there and chat with some vapors. Reading the Simon there. Good long chat, as we often do. So in that respect, it was okay. I mean, I think the question of organising things is a good one. It's something that needs to be addressed, really. I know all the shows mentioned it. I don't really know how many people ultimately these shows reach. Potentially not really enough to actually bring together a mass organised flash mob, I'm sure. But the thought occurred to me, was it yesterday morning after I'd watched watched Drips and Tips. I didn't watch it live, unfortunately, because I was busy out eating. But the thought occurred, whilst Facebook forums are all very good, they're all very dispersed. And now I do have the expertise to actually create some sort of social media platform geared towards vapors, but the thing being, I'm not convinced it would have enough uptake to make it worthwhile. I mean, if anyone wants to get in touch with me to talk about this sort of thing, then feel free. But but maybe something should be done in order, some sort of social media platform for vapors. I don't know if such a thing exists. I've not really searched for it. But if there is such a thing that exists and I'm not aware of it, not saying that I should be aware, you know what I'm getting at, but maybe they're not promoting themselves enough. It's a hard thing. I mean, we are on the cusp of legislation, and I think the vaping events, meets, be it meets or activism. I want to say Activision every time I say it. activism. Maybe it should be more coordinated. I don't know, and I'm not entirely sure how to address that personally. But it's something I've been paying some thought to, and I'm sure others have as well. But there we go. I mean, I'm not gonna ramble on too much about it. Well done to those that showed up. I had a good day despite the rain, and it's always good to catch up with Andy Sutton again. I don't see him enough, so yeah, it's good fun. So there we go. Right, there we are. I don't know if chat have really got anything to say. I didn't see chat whilst I was rambling. I'll just have a quick scroll through. Okay, yeah, as advocacy is the word. Yes, okay, Ridian. Right, anyway, so on to some more vaping news. There has been... I'll just bring this up on the page here, on the screen for you guys. Okay, on the Grumpy Vapor blog. Good blog, actually. You should read it. A link will pop into chat at some point. Marco is very kindly volunteered to paste that in. But the Cloudper Mini may have some serious charging safety issues, apparently. I figured you guys should be aware of this one, in case anyone has got a Cloudper Mini. But there's some pictures there of a Cloudper Mini that doesn't look particularly healthy. But Cloudper apparently responded on Facebook, this is the latest update, that we feel very sorry to hear this. Our engineers and after sales are contacting the customers to make sure what problems happened. Okay. Thank you. Our engineers are checking and confirming the issues. Just one batch of our Cloudper Mini has some issues, but the probability is about 0.1 to 0.2%. Our after sales are contacting those customers to try our best to do any further consultation in time. So to take you any trouble, we will bear your loss if it is caused by us. Thank you. Okay, so fair enough then. So it might be worthwhile if you do have the Cloudper Mini, just get in touch with the vendor you obtained it from, just to see if Cloudper have been in touch with those vendors themselves. If there's any issue with the one you've got, chances are pretty slim, but the last thing you want is something to go bad. On an interesting similar note, actually, my Vaporshark rdna 30. When I was coming back from the meet on Sunday, driving in the car, and I had this in my inside coat pocket, and I locked it. At least I thought I did. Did the 5 clicks to lock a DNA. Anyway, when I got in through the front door and pulled out all my mods from me coat pocket and whatever to place them on the side before taking my coat off, this was very, very hot, and the screen was on, just saying check battery. I thought, ooh, bugger. So I quickly took the atomizer off, took a screwdriver to the back plate there and popped the battery out, and it was quite warm. It wasn't hot. It wasn't how hot the mod was, bizarrely. I let it all cool down, and I popped the battery on the charger, and it's good, and it's still the same battery in here now. It's holding the charge fine, so I've got no issues with that. But so I was quite happy to. After the mod itself wasn't broken. I'll have a vape on it. And it survived. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, of course, that I'm 100% positive I locked it. I think what happened, it had sort of fallen this way in my pocket, and it was sitting sort of above where my seatbelt was going across, and I think it must have bounced a few times because I jiggle because I'm a bit chubby. And unlocked itself or something. I don't really know what happened there, but no harm. Okay, and next bit of news I've got is from Svomesto. He says, they're clicking the wrong thing. There we go, let's look at that instead. Right. Now, Svomesto released this statement, I believe it's within the last day or two. The SM Tech GmbH is the owner of several trademarks and design protections in different markets around the world. In order to protect our customers, our partners and our company, we feel impelled to keep records on trademark infringements and to initiate legal actions against breaches without further warning. A breach is defined by using a mention of protected trademarks to advertise for and or the distribution of counterfeit products, as well as products using these trademarks that have not been given permission to do so. A breach can and will be prosecuted retrospectively to the day the trademark has been filed. In case you have a justified concern, having committed a breach through no fault of your own, or having bought a counterfeit product unwillingly or unintentionally, or in case you want to report sales of counterfeits, please use the form below to contact us for clarification. Now that's an interesting one. Potentially it means that Svomesto are going to clamp down on K-Fun clones, which are, shall we say, very, very prolific. It's probably the most cloned atomizer out there, you know, and the various forms of it. And I'm not entirely sure how that fares with the Russian. Because that design protection is the interesting one, because the Russian is, of course, in all but name, a K-Fun, isn't it? And of course, Fastech sell many, many K-Fun style atomizers, and many vendors in the UK, EU, and in America, indeed across the world, will sell these. So I don't really know what's going to happen with that, but it's an interesting piece to put out there, and I'm wondering whether, you know, all these, you know, the smaller vendors that are popping up and are stocking and selling K-Fun clones, you know, they could potentially put them out of business. Whether that's a good or bad thing, it's not really for me to say. Leanna Lawless asks, if you're sold a clone as well, will they swap out for a real one? I very much doubt that. It's not Svomester's fault that you bought a clone, is it? You know, so I wouldn't suspect that they would. You know, they'd be out of pocket very, very quickly if everyone that owned a clone. I mean, there's a lot more clones out there than are genuine ones. I'm absolutely certain of that. There will be a lot more. You know, they'll be completely out of pocket. Yeah, it's a tricky one to call that. I mean, I don't really know what they're going to do, but if I were a vendor, I'd be a bit cautious right now, and potentially I wouldn't be selling any K-Fun clones. I think there's been cases similar to this before. Was it Hannah in the States? I think it was Hannah that actually went after a couple of vendors. 100%. I'll have to look that one up actually. Was sold as genuine, says Leanna Lawless. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's still not Svomesto's fault, is it? It's not Svomesto's fault that Joe Blogg's Vaping Emporium says, this is definitely a genuine K-Fun, and you can buy it off me for 20 quid. So Svomesto aren't really to blame there. So, as Very Boring points out, will have zero impact on direct sales from China, but vendors will have to watch themselves. Yeah. It's not really going to stop China. Well, it might do if the demand for it ceases. You know, I mean, ultimately, the Chinese will make a clone of something because we want a cheaper version of it. That's why they're coming out, isn't it? So, the K-Fun does rank amongst one of my top atties. I've got a genuine 3.1 and a K-Fun Lite. Don't use the Lite that much, to be fair, but the 3.1 gets a lot of use out of me, and it has done since I've had it. And yes, it was a £120 atty, but let's put it this way. I spent 120 quid on it the day they were sold in the UK by Cloud9, so whenever that was, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And if that was my only device I had purchased from that point, my only atomizer, and never purchased another atomizer, you know, the amount of money I've not spent on cigarettes would more than cover that. So it depends on how you look at these things, really, doesn't it? You know, you'll get some folk that will say, oh, I can't afford to buy a genuine K-Fun, you know, £120 too much. Well, yeah, I suppose it's down to the individual, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going to dictate what people can and can't buy. I own clones myself of things, you know. I'm not going to sit and be sanctimonious and say, oh, you must never use a clone, you must never buy clones, it's bad for everybody, blah, blah, blah. In fact, I'll be showing a clone of something later on. But, yeah, I couldn't, in all honesty, say that and keep a straight face. So, I'm not going to. Okay, so Leanna Lawrence is going on about CentOS. Actually, that makes me think of something. This is a bit of the beaten path, actually, and it's slightly linked to vaping. But one of the things that's got me a little bit concerned recently is internet censorship. Now, as some of you may or may not be aware, Sky are going to, as of, I think it was, actually I don't know the date, it's as of, it's either happened recently or it's going to happen fairly recently. Any new customer will, by default, have a parental block on their internet account, which means if you go through Sky's default DNS servers and what have you, and default gateways, you will have parental filtering, which will mean no, should we call them rhythm sites, shall we say? Special interest sites. No access to those sort of things. Now, okay, that in itself, I'm a big supporter of net neutrality, and as those that know me, I'm a massive supporter of open source, and my view is the internet should be free for everybody, and it should be unrestricted for everybody. You know what is on the internet, and I'm speaking as a parent myself, and many other parents, you should actively engage with your children and what they get up to online. It's not the government's job to do that. It's not anyone else's job to do that. It is down to the person responsible for that child, be it in a school, so the teacher's responsibility, or be it in in the home, the parent or guardian. That's my view on things. And the government stepping in and they are encouraging and mandating. I mean, you've seen it already happen. If BT customers, I'm one. The Pirate Bay was blocked. Now that was mandated. The government mandated that Pirate Bay was to be blocked, and that's not going to let up. Then that's going to continue, and that potentially should be stopped. As Rob pointed out there'll be an opt-out, but it should be an opt-in. Yes, I agree. If you wish your ISP to do parental control, then you phone them up, or you email them, or you put a support ticket in, and you ask them to do it. The day that BT blocks anything on my site, on my internet access, I mean, I'm not a particular peruser of, shall we say, special interest websites, but I will phone them up and say, I want to insert the most disgusting possible thing I can think of online here, down the phone at them. Okay? Because, Leanna Lawless goes, encouraging Darknet. Now I've got a thought about Darknet, and I have dabbled with Darknet. If I were, shall we say, someone who was looking for very nefarious activity, the first place I'd look would be Darknet. So I wouldn't necessarily want to go there. It's kind of like sitting in the back of the classroom. Everyone thinks, sit in the back of the classroom, you can do what you like. No. That's just where the teacher looks. You sit at the front of the classroom. You sit in plain view, and therefore, you don't get noticed. Okay. Max Drum says, Pirate Bay blocked. Lots of easy way around that. Yes, there is. Now, what the point I'm trying to make is that if in some point in time, shall we say, vaping becomes, outlawed, taboo, illegal, whatever you want to call it, there would, and potentially internet censorship would stop, possibly, people like ourselves from broadcasting, vaping videos wiped out of YouTube, from Vimeo, all that sort of thing, okay? If that would happen, I would be interested to know, would anyone want, not necessarily going to be on YouTube, but want me to go through maybe some sort of techniques on bypassing filtering? I'm fully aware that some of you guys in chat are perfectly technical and capable, but there's people watching this that aren't. And I'm wondering whether, in preparation, something should maybe be put in place, some sort of, should we say, plan B. Okay, because what we want to do, if the worst was to happen, I personally, and I'm sure the rest of the team would agree, I still want to be sitting here and showing you guys the new stuff, or how to get hold of things, because as far as I'm concerned, vaping isn't going to go away, and I will risk hell or high water to, I believe in vaping that much to actually, put myself on the line and actually carry on broadcasting. But anyway, so that's something. Get in touch, okay? Nothing's set in stone yet, but that's just something I wanted to have a little chat about. Anyway, let's take the breaks and we'll go on to more frivolous matters, shall we? See you in a mo.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of Vaporshark.tv.
Healthy Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of Vaporshark.tv.
And bizarrely, chat are talking a lot about snow. I've heard tell that snow is forecasting in Swansea tonight. Ridian, have we got any snow over there? I'm a bit east of Swansea, but there we go. And Liala Lourdes is mentioning GCHQ will be watching. I've had dealings with GCHQ in my professional capacity. I'm not going to go any further into that than that, though. Just in case they are. Anyway, yeah. So I was going to do this last week until Ridian and Simon just basically held me hostage and kept chatting to me. God, they can chat, those two. Anyway. The Vaporshark rdna 40, which is a little bit juicy. Let me just wipe that down a little bit. I've had this for a couple of weeks now, is it? A couple of weeks? I don't really recall. Sometime. I've been using it a lot. I like it a lot. But that's getting ahead of myself here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the atomizer off this. And I'm going to take the atomizer off the rdna 30 as well, because I'm sure you guys would like a comparison. Yes, right. There we go. Let's switch to closey uppy cammy whammy thingy. There we go, closey uppy cam. So here's the rdna 30, 40 version 2, and you'll notice there I've got a charging pad. It's not plugged into anything yet, mind, but we'll cover that in a minute. Yeah, so there we go. They've changed the finish on this slightly. It's a more rubberized feel. God, my hands look really pink on this, don't they? It's it feels almost like silicon when you compare that to the rdna 30. And apologies for the camera being a bit laggy. I'm not entirely sure what's up with that, but we'll carry on with that. This is a very smooth gloss finish, but this is a more matte finish. Now, this being the version 2 does have the right way up, please. The large screen DNA 40 on it as well, which is quite nice. We compare that again to the rdna 30. There we go, and the regular DNA 40 screen is very much the same as that as well. So yeah, that was one of the adjustments made to the version 2. Now, what they've also gone and done on the rdna 40 as well, I think it's in the same as the version 1 of this. The removable cover is actually just held by a magnet, where on the previous version it was a screw. Okay, which means you can get at the battery quite easily if you just want to pop it out for a quick charge on your standard charger. Now, I only tested this a while ago actually, but it's actually got an alarm if you put the battery in the wrong way around. So on this, the negative goes to the top being where the 510 connector is, and positive down at the bottom there. So here's the positive end. I'm going to pull it in. I'm sure you can probably hear that. There we are. So it gives you a little alarm beep as well. But I put it the right way around, and it still works, fortunately. So you're not going to blow your board. I mean, that's true of all DNA 40 boards now, but the DNA 40s don't standard come with a buzzer. But yeah, that's a nice feature. So what we got then, we've got the firing button, which glows blue when you're firing. It will glow red when charging and green when fully charged. You have the up and down buttons here. You have a USB port there for for your standard mini USB charging, and you have a spring-loaded 510 connector. Let me just get a proddy thing. There we are. So you can see there that's spring-loaded. Other than that, yeah, it says Vaporshark rdna on the side. It's quite a smart unit. It's a very comfortable unit, and also it does have the ability to charge wirelessly. Now this is I don't have a USB cable to hand to plug it in, I'm afraid. This one here is actually attached to something quite critical, so I can't unplug it. But this is a standard QI charger, which I picked up from Amazon for about a tenner. But I believe most places that sell the rdna 40 will sell you a charger as well. But yeah, what you do is you place it, the actual charging circuit there is actually on this side, the same side the USB port is. So you literally just place it down and it will just charge. And it's an absolute godsend, it really is. It's one of those things that mods are crying out for. On the previous models, there wasn't an add-on you could get a wireless charging board, and it required the use of the shark skin as well. But basically, it fitted here, and there's a little tiny USB cable you popped in there. Then you put the shark skin over it to keep it all in place, and you could charge wirelessly as well. But on this unit, it's all built in. So consequently, let's have a look at the dimensions of this. It is ever so slightly thicker. Not much. 1 or 2 mil. But ever so slightly. The actual height-wise is the same. The actual width is the same as well. It's just the depth is slightly bigger one. Anyway, so that's enough close yappy time on that. I'll just switch back to this. Yeah, and I mean, I had this on pre-order since I think it was mid to late November last year, and it finally arrived to me a couple of weeks ago from UK e-cigs. Or sorry, I'll just keep an eye on chat there at the same time. I've really got to get the system sorted out. All shiny thing. So yeah, and it behaves like a DNA 40 board does. There's no difference there. If I put a new coil on there, it says new coil up, down, that sort of thing. So you've seen my videos on DNA 40s before. You've seen Dave Dawn's. I think most of us are covered DNA 40 now. But the wireless charging is absolutely excellent. I mean, Normally I've got it plugged in, but I had to plug something else in. But when I'm sitting up here working, I'll take a couple of vapes, I'll pop it down on the charger. It's fantastic. I mean, it doesn't charge that quickly over wireless, but it's enough to keep you going, you know. So, hello, I've just seen there, well, Matt might mind. What might I mind? Okay, I hope it won't mind, but I'm going to catch up on Marco's Swaff stuff. Yeah, okay, fine. Says really, I don't mind. Why would I mind? So, Neil wants some closely uppy time with that Gerber multi-tool. Didn't you have enough of that Dave Kidson every week? With all these multi-tools? Really? Okay, fine, here we go. And I click that there. If I had the Potter's Wheel music, and I can make this spin. There we are. There's the Gerber multi-tool. Look. It's it does things. Multi-tool type things. You can see I've been using it to pinch coils, can't you? And flaming it. Lovely little thing. Lovely thing. But yeah, there we go. Don't say I don't ever do what you want. There we go. Anyway, yeah, back to the Vaporshark. So the going price for these is 150 quid. And for that 150 quid, you will get the device. I'll show you the box it comes in, but you know what? I have absolutely no idea where I'll put that. It might be over here. Probably isn't. No. It comes in a quite nice box. No, that's not it. Well, it might be it, actually. Hang on. There we go. Now, it comes in this little box here. Sort of very iPhone, iPod-y sort of type presentation. So in there you'll get the thingamajig, and you get a USB cable, which I've not even used. And that's all you get, basically. So, you know. But it's a nice solid box, so, you know, you're not going to get your device damaged in transit, so that's good. And you also get a battery included as well, you know, a battery suitable for the DNA 40s. So for 150 quid, it's not a bad buy, to be fair. You'll get a battery, it's got charging already, you're good to vape. You know, you get one of the best boards on the market, in my opinion. Well, you all know how much I love the DNA 40s. So, Neil Robinson now knows what he wants for his birthday. Is it the Vaporshark or the Gerber multi-tool? No? I'll wait for that. There's a 30-second delay or thereabouts. I need a drink, I'm thirsty. We're going to have a Hi-Fi Stud wants to have a vote now, see if anyone wants to see Leanna Lawless's box. Leanna Lawless, if you want to come on Skype and show your box, feel free. So yeah, it performs nicely. You know, it's a DNA 40. So all DNA 40 mods are going to perform pretty much the same. You know, that's the thing about them. You know, so SX 250 or 350 mods are all going to be the same. Yeah, doesn't matter what shape it is, they're all going to perform the same. But ergonomically, I find it nice and easy to use. I find the button press decent. It's nice. It's not too easy to press. It's not too hard to press. You get nice tactile feedback. You know you've pressed it because it clicks. You know you get a visual display. You're pressing it. It's all good down there. The fact that I like the fact that they make use of the space on the bottom to put the display. That's one thing I've always liked about the Vaporsharks, to be fair. You know, and it's suitably protected. You can pop it down. You know the glare from the display is not going to bother you, and you put it down. Of course, you can't see me doing that because you can only see my chest. I might not be wearing trousers through, you know. I might be wearing a skirt or something. But I really shouldn't have said that, should I? Also, apparently Leanna Lawless said you saw my box. Yes, you did. It was very transparent. I had some cardboard in it and a USB cable. Anyway, one day I'll get through one of these reviews without stumbling, won't I? Yeah, it remains to be seen how long the finish will last. I might get a shark skin for this actually, just to keep it more pristine. I mean, you can see here that on my 30, you know, it's starting to chip around the USB connector there, around the edge. The text is wearing off. You know, the etching on the paintwork. You know, they could potentially sort of coat this with the stuff they use on the you know, is it a Zen coat or whatever. That's stuff that Zen from House of Hybrids sorted out. Ah. I'm not repeating what Hi-Fi Stud just said. No. It's going to be one of those shows tonight, isn't it? Mind you, we're over halfway through, so you haven't got much more to put up with. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, any 22mm or lower device is going to sit quite nicely on here. As we all know, I love my sub-tanks, and this is a 25mm sub-tank. And you can get away putting them on, and I do use them on this. Yeah, it looks a bit top-heavy, but hey, you know. Yeah, it's a new coil. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's good. I'm very, very fond of it. And basically after this review, my lovely illustrious other half has laid claim to my DNA 30 Vaporshark, so I shall probably be giving her up to her or something. Is it a her or is it a he? I don't know. But yeah, it's a clear win in my book. And we go back to the review I did a couple of weeks ago of the Vapor Flask. Given a choice, it's a no-brainer. You go for the Vaporshark. Okay. The Vapor Flask, whilst it's got an interesting design to it, it's probably a Marmite type design. To be fair, I like the design, but only if I use it with my right hand. And of course, cover all the other issues that I mentioned in the review, like the batteries and that sort of thing. You know, and also, it's, you know, the Vapor Flask is 250 quid, while the Vaporshark is 150. You know, it makes more sense. You got a decent amount of charging. You know, that wireless charging option is not to be underestimated. It's a superb feature. It really is. You know, you just pop it down. You have a couple of wireless charging pads around the house. You know, because you can get phones with wireless charging ability and tablets. You know, I don't think iPhones do yet. I'm not sure. But certainly some Android phones, you know, you get wireless charging, you pop it on there. Or, you know, when you're done with that, you pop your Vaporshark on there when you're sitting on the telly. Watching the telly, not on the telly. You get what I'm rambling about, don't you? Okay, so apparently the Eleanor says lots of Vapor Flask and UKV for sale. I don't check the classies that often these days. I find it quite fatal, if I'm honest. Because I often spend money and I can't really keep spending money. Oh dear. But yeah, if you're in the market, as I say, for a DNA 40 device, you definitely do well to consider the Vaporshark rdna 40. Okay, it's a good buy for what it is. It's a mod that's going to last you for a long time. I have heard reports before of people saying that their rdna 30s have failed. The 510 connection's gone or the firing button's gone. I can honestly say, hand on heart, that I've had my Vaporshark rdna 30 for pretty much a year, maybe a bit less. Never had any problems with it, and it's been a right little workhorse. And I got every confidence in this mod being the same, to be honest. Rob recommends a wireless charger that is on a slant for the Vaporshark, depending on the battery. That's a very good point, actually. You know, it's not something I considered. But yeah, if you've got, say, a dripper, lay it down, yeah, you're possibly going to have some spillage. Or certainly, if you've got Genesis, yeah, you are, aren't you? But yeah, good point, actually. Nice call. There we go. Caracoat Graham Gord says, that's what I was thinking of. I know there's Zencoat and... Is it Caracoat or Cara? Oh, I don't know. Cerakote. Caracoat, I think. I think it's pretty much the same finish as on my my Diablo hybrid, actually. I think. I mean, that's a pretty solid finish. I've never chipped that. But, yeah. But yeah, that is my one thing with it. I think if you're going to buy one, possibly consider the entertaining idea of the shark skin as well. They're only about an extra £8 on top. You might as well, if you're ordering it. I shall buy one for mine. I think they have now got a version that's got the cutout for the larger screen. So, but I think currently only available in black. Other colours are coming. So it says UK e-cigs store site anyway. So. Right, anyway, I think I waffled enough. I think I might have got away with it. I'm not sure. Anyway, time for ad break number 2. So I'll see you after that.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of Vaporshark.tv.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
What's in this e-cig cloud? Harmless water vapour, right? Pretty much, yes. Compared to a lit cigarette, it's much safer than smoke. But it contains nicotine, and nicotine on its own isn't toxic and doesn't cause cancer. If you're worried about switching to vapour, here are some facts. No tar, no smoke, no burnt tobacco. Cooking your evening meal produces more toxins than are found in exhaled vapour. Tobacco smoke contains toxins at very high levels, and vapour does not. And that vapour contains 6,000 times less carcinogens than cigarette smoke. Electronic cigarette vapour. There's nothing to be frightened of. The only dangerous electronic cigarette is a banned one.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of Vaporshark.tv.
And we're back. Now, during the adverts there, I was having a quick look through chat, and David Luckhurst asked, does it charge wirelessly when you've got a shark skin on? I can only imagine it does. I mean, the previous model that it required you to use a shark skin in order to put the wireless charging model in, obviously would have to charge through the shark skin, so I can't imagine it's being any different. I mean, I've not got shark skins, I've not tested it, okay? But if I find it doesn't, when I do get a skin on it, then I'll let you guys know. But I can only imagine it does, okay? So, anyway, let's move this out of the way, because I should have done this during the ad break. I'll leave the Gerber in shot for the close-up cam. But what I want to go through now is, this thought occurred to me the other day before Dave Kitchen's show, a couple of weeks ago. I was sitting in the bath, as one does when one's in need of cleansing and relaxation. And I asked myself, where's the soap? And then a voice said, yes, it does. Anyway, and I thought, I've got these limos, and I got those limos a day before, and I was having a bit of a wicking issue with one of them. So the thought occurred to me about doing this certain method, which I'm going to show you now. So this will only work really on K-Fun style Atties, that basically have juice channels in the bottom that feed up to the coil. But basically, I need some juice ready for this as well. So what you can see here, I've got a pre-coiled atomizer, okay? So I was going to save you the pain of me sitting there doing a coil and wicking it all up. So it's actually been sitting there since last week. I was actually going to do this last week, but you know, I got chatty. So there we go. There's a pre-coiled limo. There's a limo drop there. So the thought occurred to me that you either don't have enough wick or you have too much wick, and you're blocking up these channels here. Let's get a pointy type thing. Pointy type thing, come to me. There we go. Right, so there we go. So these are the channels here, okay? And basically the wick will, the juice will come in here, up these channels and touch the wicks, and you're good to go. So yeah, the thought occurred about this blockage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I come up with, and it's been working rather well. So you build your device as per normal. Now, do stop me if, well, don't stop me because I'm going to carry on about this, but this is new to me. Someone might have already come up with this. I don't know, okay? I'm not going to guarantee this is 100% original, but what I do really almost 100% guarantee is going to work wonders for you guys. So give it a go. So what we do, we put our chimney on and keep the wicks up, okay? Now what you do is you get yourself a pokey thing. So in this case I'm using a syringe needle. A pokey thing as such. So yeah, there we go. Sorry, I'm just getting a message there from Skype. I don't know what's going on. Video quality drops. Right, okay, sorry. I should put that on Do Not Disturb. I thought it was. Okay, right, anyway. So, yeah. What I'm going to do is, if I just pull some cotton out of the way, and you can see there that, actually, it might be the reason, so I do apologise for this. Let me just check something. Right. Okay, that should sort the sound out. I just realised I had a different mic level on this shot. Okay, so yeah, so you can see there the wick channel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply get this needle. I've pushed it into the channel. It's hard to see, I know. Like so, and then I will get myself a flathead screwdriver. So sorry, I'll have to just bring this towards me a bit because I can't really see what I'm doing very well. So keeping that there, I'm just going to pack the cotton down around it. Okay, like so. And then I will wet it with some juice. Again, I need to keep it towards me because I can't really see what's going on. Because the camera's away from me. So there we go. So fill the cotton up. Let's give it another bit of a padding down there. Okay, so when I remove the, we've now got the cotton wet, so, and you can see there, you can see the hole where the channel is, yeah? Okay, so I'm now going to do the same for the other side. So again, I've just popped the syringe needle in there, and I'm going to pack the cotton down, and I'll wet it again. Okay, so I'll just pull that out. So what you can see there is basically I've kept the channels clear. So the idea being that cotton will, I'll just pop back to the view of me again. The cotton won't get in the way of the juice coming up the channels. So basically it will just come up and then soak straight into the cotton. And like I said, it's been working really, really well for me, this. So I'm just going to reassemble my limo now. And I will add, I'm using 80% VG juice in this. And it is on a nickel coil as well, so it will require a DNA 40 to use. So do bear with me. Get myself a screwdriver and remove the fitting screw. But yeah, this will work on. I've used it on a K-Fun, this technique, and it works really, really well. And I've used it on a Fogger V4 as well, the same sort of technique. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it, to be honest. As I say, it's probably been done before, but you know, this is new to me. I'd like to think I may be forward of it, but I probably didn't. So we shall see. Just screw this filling screw back in. I'd like to have done this in advance, but the problem, of course, is that you can't play with the coils when this is full up. I shall probably do a review of the Limo in the next week or so, actually. You know, let you guys know what I think of them. So where's my rdna 40? There it is. Let's take this atomizer off. Okay, that's going to be a new coil, yes. And that'll just wick all day. So yeah, I'm very happy with that, actually, to be honest. It makes life a little bit easier. You know, it means you don't quite have to second guess quite as much how much cotton you need to put in. You know, you can actually put a lot more cotton in there, and so long as you keep those channels clear, you're golden. Anyway, I'm very conscious I've only got 9 minutes left, so I want to make a start on my new DNA 40 project. It's very DNA 40 orientated, isn't it? Okay, so I alluded to this earlier, but what I've got here is a cloned Vapor Flask. And if you'll indulge me a minute, I've got a little bit of a bugbear with this. Right, I'm going to take this battery out. I'm not going to do a review on the clone, okay? But there's one thing that really is annoying me, and I'd like to get it off my chest. So let's just remove this. Okay, this is the battery. I'm going to keep this battery here. That's just come out of the clone Vapor Flask, okay? Now, those of you who pay attention will have seen my review of the Vapor Flask a couple of weeks ago. And I'm just removing Yati so I don't want spillage. Okay, so here is my genuine Vapor Flask. I'm going to undo this screw here. Okay, I shall remove this battery. It's a bit of a tight fit. Okay, this battery come out of this clone, yeah? It will not fit in a genuine. Do you know how annoyed I was when that happened? But there we go. That's what it is, and it is what it is. Let's just put those one side. I'm not going to bother putting that together again for the moment. Right. On the other hand, though, the display stopped functioning on this. You can't. Well, you can just about see it. Can you? Yeah. There we go. The display's no longer lighting up, so you know there's that not going for it. I'm just going to take the other battery out because what we're going to do, I've not done this yet, but I'm going to pop the top off it. I want to see what it's like inside it because my plan is to replace this with a genuine DNA 40. Now I'm not sure how well I can do this on camera. I've got a sticker on the back of my hand. So let's just remove these screws here. I'm not entirely sure how far I can go into this really on camera, but we shall see. I've not done this before, so on this particular mod anyway. Well, I've not even taken a Vapor Flask apart. But it's fairly obvious that the way to get into it is through the top. I want to see what's underneath there. So it's fairly obvious why I removed the batteries, isn't it? Okay, so that's the screws off. Okay, so what have we got there then? Well, that's clearly the screen from the DNA 40, or the DNA 30 clone, that's what I say, that's what's in there. And we can see in there, sorry, just, okay, so the board is sitting straight down there, and the screen comes up and folds across that way. So that should be relatively straightforward to pop that. It's like I've got a mounting sled there, and you can see the these buttons There's obviously a separate board full of buttons there, or micro switches. Okay, so that's something to look at. That wire looks a bit loose. Okay, well, I'm not going to take it apart any further than that on camera because it looks like a fairly fiddly job, so I don't really want to completely ruin it. Whilst the screen isn't working, it does still fire, so I don't want to bugger the thing up. And let's be honest, we are running a bit low on time. So that's going to be my project over the next few weeks. I don't have a board to put in it yet. So I will be ordering one fairly soon. It's nearly payday. Well, 2 weeks' time it's payday, so I should order myself a new board. And I shall probably throw together a VT detailing what I've done. I don't think I'll be doing it live on air. Well, I should say, once I've got that thing apart, we'll have a go. But, yeah. Anyway, let's have another go at the limo. I tell you, he's not a bad atomizer, actually. Oh, and that's at 40 watts as well. I just realised. What's the ohmage in that cool? 0.16. It's good. Very good. But you didn't hear that. Let's do a review next week, maybe. The Limo's got a nice little feature up its sleeve as well, which I'll save for next week. So I'm just have a quick scroll through back through chat. Logan wishes to know if anyone is using or everybody using Muji cotton. I am not. I've not tried it. I've got Japanese cotton and I've got Celu cotton. Whole box of the stuff for about 10 quid, I think it was. That'll last me a lifetime. That's generally what I use for most of my things because just I've got so much of the stuff. But I might do some sort of Wicking comparison at some point. Now, I was toying the idea before the show of actually getting a CU4 out of the cupboard behind me here and seeing if I can vape it at silly high temperatures and produce formaldehyde. I bet I couldn't and vape it. But yeah, unfortunately, time's kind of against us, isn't it? But yeah. So what's the benefit of Muji cotton then, folks? I mean, it's not something I particularly know much about on that stuff. I've not really heard of it before. So if anyone in the next couple of minutes would like to enlighten me. Oh, Muji is Japanese cotton. Stuff I got from Dripper. I didn't get any cotton from Dripper, as it happens. Yeah. Ah, Gareth, you're in there. Gareth being Chainmaker. I didn't see you in there. And Chainmaker Gareth is the manufacturer of the vape grip. There we go. I will be doing a more thorough look at that at some point. But Muji is what's in a Kanga sub. Yes, I have tried that. I didn't realise that was Muji. I just thought it was Japanese cotton. I didn't realise it had a name called Muji as well. Celu cotton is rayon, yes. Anyway, so oh, and before I do go, Chainmaker Gareth, whatever. I gave your missus a recipe on Saturday for the juice on vaping, and she was quite fond of it. So have you made that yet? Let me know what you think. Yeah. Anyway. Right, so as always, I'm going to play you out with the adverts, and after the adverts, it'd be very nice if you could form an orderly queue and march yourself across the road to RY4. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Cheers.
RY4 Radio.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of Vaporshark.tv.